In case you're joining us today on day 2, do well to watch this video that will be displayed on your screen at the end of this video. That is our day 1 challenge, and so you can understand what we are doing. Hope on this challenge and see your life transform within these 13 days. Our chapter 2, day 2 topic before us today is the spirit of faith. The spirit of faith is one of the vital forces of the spirit that empowers us for unlimited breakthroughs. It is one of the most powerful virtues required for commanding supernatural breakthroughs because it sees the invincible God as visible. It thinks the unthinkable. That is, it thinks what ordinary men would not think. It speaks the unspeakable because it sees the invincible. It does the impossible and empowers us to believe at a supernatural frequency. By the spirit of faith, we are anointed. The word is nigh unto thee, even in thy mouth and in thy heart. That is the word of faith which we preach. The force of faith provokes heaven on our behalf. When we operate by the spirit of faith, we live as if the devil no longer exists. For instance, no sane man will go towards the Red Sea with 3 million people. But in the case of Moses and the Israelites, the Egyptians saw this and thought, oh, there is good weather today and it has cleared the sea. They went after them and they all drowned. It was not by chance, it was by the spirit of faith at work that parted the Red Sea. The spirit of faith was also at work in Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego answered and said to the king, "Oh Nebuchadnezzar, we are not careful to answer thee in this matter. If it be so, our God whom we serve is able to deliver us from this burning fiery furnace, and he will deliver us out of thy hand, O king. But if not, be it known unto thee, O king, that we will not serve thy gods, nor worship the golden image which thou hast set up." Those men saw the invincible God, so they could not imagine fire consuming them because it must first consume God. They were thrown into the fiery furnace, and to show that it was real fire, the ones who took them there died. Meanwhile, the 3 Hebrew men thrown into the fire were walking and praising God. Then the wicked king said, "Lo, I see 4 men loose, walking in the midst of the fire, and they have no hurt, and the form of the 4th is like the Son of God." The 3 men saw the invincible God in his visible realm. They dared the fiery furnace and emerged with an incredible testimony. The spirit of faith makes us approach the fiery furnace restful. The lions then smiling and sleeping and refreshed in the midst of the storm. It is important to note that the spirit of faith is a transgenerational virtue. It transits from one generation to another. The work of God from generation to generation is operated by the spirit of faith. It means that the spirit moves from one generation to another generation. It is a transferable virtue. When you locate a carrier, you can connect with it. The spirit of faith drives us in the direction of everything shown to us. Whatever he shows to us, he drives us to accomplish. Therefore, we automatically lose our minds to him. Abraham left his home, and when he was asked where he was going, he said, "God will show me as I go." So what then are the characteristics of the spirit of faith? Number 1, it is a speaking spirit. The spirit of faith is a speaking spirit, which makes it different from the word of faith. While the word of faith has to be spoken by us, the spirit of faith speaks through us. We do not need to cram or practice it. Number 2, it is a driving force. It is a driving force. When the spirit of faith is at work, we cannot be stagnated. That means by the spirit of faith, we are supernaturally on the move, not just making proclamations, but advancing dynamically. Number 3, it is a restful force. When the spirit of faith is at work, we are supernaturally at rest. When others are apprehensive and anxious, it does not mount pressure on anyone, but brings about noiseless triumph. Let's understand that we do not have to make noise to make news. Number 4, it is a daring force. There are giants in every man's promised land. If we are not daring, we will never ascend that throne. It is the spirit of faith that impacts us with that daring nature. Number 5, it is an ever-winning force. So the spirit of faith is a facilitator of the fulfillment of God's glorious agenda in our lives. He said, we have not said the things God told us. That is why we have not seen them. We have set goals which we have not pursued. That is why we have not seen them actualized. The lack of this bearing force has made it impossible to pursue our set goals, and this has hindered our delivery. This is why we need the spirit of faith to fully possess our possession. Thus, the spirit of faith is the facilitator of the fulfillment of God's glorious agenda in our lives. So, what is unique about the spirit of faith? The spirit of faith has the supernatural ability to believe all things, including the unbelievable. It is a speaking spirit, and it creates whatever it declares. It empowers us to believe all things that God speaks to us, either through the scripture or by rhema. We do not need to practice it, we just possess it. People of faith will choose what God says, no matter the cost. Understand that empowerment is in degrees, so we must crave access to another level. We have been stagnant at a particular level for too long, so we must crave access into higher levels. No madman ever walked into fire. That tells us how much the devil respects fire. The spirit of faith is the spirit of dominion. We cannot have the spirit of faith without being noticed by the devil. Also, we cannot possess the spirit of faith and not be noticed by men, because we will be breaking forth supernaturally. So, it empowers us to believe all things. The spirit of faith empowers us to believe all things. It infuses us with spiritual capacity to believe all things. Believing all things which are written in the law and in the prophet, Acts 24 verse 14. It takes the spirit of faith to believe all things. There are many things God has said to us that we did not believe. That is why we cannot see them. 2, it speaks supernaturally through us. The spirit of faith rules the tongue. When you do not have the spirit of faith, your tongue is unguarded. The spirit of faith is the bridle of the tongue, because it speaks supernaturally. Luke 21 verse 15 says, "For I will give you a mouth and wisdom which all your adversaries shall not be able to gainsay or resist." It empowers us to say what God says unashamedly. We are not speaking to impress anybody, but speaking what is in us by the spirit of faith. Our authority in Christ lies in our tongue. Faith bridles our tongue and delivers us our destinies. Number 3, the spirit of faith supernaturally propels the carrier. Any vision we do not pursue can never be fulfilled. Anyone listed in the book of Hebrews chapter 11 moved by the propelling force of the spirit of faith. It is the spirit of faith that empowers us to believe the impossible, think the incredible, speak the unthinkable, and empowers us to triumph. Whatever the spirit of faith sees, it believes, speaks, does, and will stop doing until the desired result manifests. It is an enduring spirit. It is a never giving up spirit and a forcefully advancing spirit. It has no downtime. When nothing seems to be working, the man with the spirit of faith sees it working. The spirit of faith sees the end from the beginning, and when we see the end, it is impossible to be discouraged. As it is written, looking unto Jesus, the author and finisher of our faith, who for the joy that was set before him endured the cross, despising the shame, and is set down at the right hand of the throne of God. This is why men who possess the spirit of faith have no downtime. People don't know what they need. That is why they are in need. We need the spirit of faith to keep soaring in life. Somebody asked Bishop David Oyedepo, the writer of this book, he said, "Do you ever have problems, Brother David?" And I said, maybe it came and I didn't know. So the spirit of faith does not see challenges, it sees victory, because challenges are the pathway to championship. When you have a situation to overcome, it is an opportunity for promotion. It takes downtime to murmur and complain. We need the spirit of faith to secure our glorious future. How do we assess the spirit of faith? First, identify a carrier of that spirit. As it is written, "But go ye rather to them that sell and buy for yourselves." Only a fool goes to a vegetable market looking for building materials. We must identify a carrier of the spirit of faith to connect with it and be beneficiaries of that spirit. Number 2, receive the person of the carrier. We cannot be blessed by a prophet whose person we have not received. As it is written, he that receiveth a prophet in the name of a prophet shall receive a prophet's reward. We must acknowledge what the prophet carries, celebrate the words of the grace of God on him, and then become candidates for assessing his work. We naturally share the DNA of our spiritual father. There is no contention about that. Every bona fide son of a prophet shares his spiritual DNA. No doubt, the spirit of faith is a real force that is available to anyone or to everyone who can identify with its source. We must understand that only those who have it can give it. Therefore, identify and connect with those who possess it, and you will begin to manifest its virtue. You will no longer be stranded. And this brings us to the end of day 2 of our book study challenge. I learned so much in this chapter 2. I'm going to drop it in the comment section. Not to make this video very long, it's already long. I'm going to stop here. So do also like this video, share it. These are day 2 of our challenge. Share it to as many who need the spirit of faith. Talking about the spirit of faith, share it. Get to them. Like, subscribe, and most importantly, share in your thoughts. Now, the challenge for today is, I want you to sit down and reflect again. Right? Reflect today. Those things that you think were instruction that God gave to you one time of your life or the other, that you feel maybe within your capacity it is too small, or that you feel maybe within your capacity is too big, that you feel you cannot really handle by yourself. I now want you to apply the faith principle, right? First of all, you're going to ask God to give you the spirit of faith, to baptize you with the spirit of faith. And then I want you to forcefully, by the Spirit of God, act on those instructions God gave to you before now. Act on them and see the result. Till I see you in my video tomorrow. Meanwhile, this is the day 1 challenge here. It's going to be here for you, displayed on your screen already. Do well to watch it so you can know how far we are going. See you tomorrow in another video. I love you.